Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, Canto 2, Chapter 2, Text 10. Is that right? So, Unidra Hrit Pankaja Karnikala Ye. Nidra, of course, is sleep. So, Unidra means awake, like up from sleep. Prabhupada translates that here as blooming. Nidra Hrit, so his heart is like opening, awake to all the devotees. Unidra Hrit Pankaja Karnikalaye. Alaya means a place, like a Vidyalaya is a school, like a knowledge place, or Himalaya, the mountains, or the cold place, or the place of snow or ice. So here we have Karnika. Karnika is the whorl, the lotus flower. Pankaja, mud. Panka means mud. I remember when I was GBC in Mexico, we had an incense business. We had to order punk, which was the sticks. We'd order these sticks from India to make incense, which were made out of clay or earth. So punk, so we call them. So panka is mud. And so pankaja, mud-born, is a word for lotus. Pankaja, like pankajangri, was devotee. Hungry, of course, means feet. So mud-born feet. Have to go with it. So mud-born feet is means lotus feet. Actually, it's interesting because we always, in English, we say lotus feet, but in Sanskrit, they always say foot lotus. Like Bande Guru Sri Charanarda Vinda. Charana literally means the goers, the feet, because char means to go. So one of the words for feet is just the goers. Somehow it sounds more natural in Sanskrit. So, so Charanarda Vinda. So they say foot lotus. Or here we have heart lotus. The blooming, like the blooming heart lotus. It's like we'd say in English, like I'm awake to that point, or to really be aware of something. So Karnikalaye in the lotus whorl place, Yogeshwara, that that the Lord of Yoga or Lord of mystic power, Astapita Pada Palavam. Astapita means he's placed. Pada Palavam, again the foot lotus. Sri Lakshanam. So Lakshanam means a sign or a visible symbol. So there is a sort of a curl on Krishna's chest or hair, which is a symbol of the goddess of fortune who is on the Lord's chest. So that's called Sri Lakshanam. Kostuba, the Kostuba jewel. Krishna wears a jewel called Kostuba. Kostuba Ratna, the Kostuba jewel. Kandharam, uh, on the shoulder, because the kandhara means sort of like holding the head. So it holds the head as the neck and the shoulder. So it's called kandhara. Anyway, very picturesque language. Sri Lakshanam Kostuba Ratna Kandaram Amlana Lakshmiya. Mlana means wilting. So Amlana means not wilting. So Amlana Lakshmiya with unwilting. Prabhupada translates that here as quite fresh. Amlana. Amlana Lakshmiya with quite fresh, unwilting beauty. Vanamalaya, and that means for with a forest garland, Vanamala. Vanamalaya Achitam, spread over. So it's a very poetic verse full of all kinds of poetic images and so on. One of those verses. So we'll chant that. Unidra hrit pankaja karnikalaye. Unidra hrit pankaja karnikalaye. Yogeshwarastapita pada pallavam. Yogeshwarastapita pada pallavam. Sri Lakshanam Kostubaratna Kandharam. Sri Lakshana Kostubaratna Kandharam. Amlana Lakshmiya Vanamalayachitam. Amlana Lakshmiya Vanamalayachitam. Unidra Hrit Pankaja Karnikalaye. Unidra Hrit Pankaja Karnikalaye. Yogeshwara Stapita Pada Pallavam. Yogeshwara Stapita Pada Pallavam. Sri Lakshanam Kaustuba Ratna Kandaram. Lakshanam Kaustuba Ratna Kandaram. Amlana Lakshmiya Vanamalayachitam. Amlana Lakshmiya Vanamalayachitam.
Unidra hit pankaja karni kalaye.
Unidra Hrit Pankaja Karnikalaye.
Yogeshwara stapita pada pallavam.
Yogeshwara Stapita Pada Pallavam.
Sri Lakshanam Kostuba Ratna Kandaram.
Sri Lakshanam Kaustuba Ratna Kandaram.
Amlana Lakshmya Vanamalayachitam.
Amlana Lakshmiya Vanamalayachitam. So, Prabhupada's translation: His lotus feet are placed over the whorls of the lotus-like hearts of great mystics. Oh, it's Yogeshwara Stapita Pada Pallavam. On his chest is the Kaustuba jewel engraved with a beautiful cap, and there are other jewels on his shoulders. His complete what's the word? Uh, Formal pictures, just like in the military, they have formal dress. Sometimes, isn't it, where they have all kinds of things on them, all kinds of awards and medals and that round thing that goes, gold round thing goes around their shoulder. I forgot the name of it.
Epaulet.
What?
Epaulet.
Very good. They probably can also be on the shoulder. And so when they actually go into combat, they're not wearing all those things for obvious reasons. So if you read the descriptions of Krishna as simply enjoyed in Vrindavan, he's dressed very simply. He's dressed very simply, just like a simple cowherd boy. So, and these descriptions are here. So it actually, it's a discussion we had before, which I won't resuscitate completely, about Krishna, worshiping Krishna formally. And of course, the whole purpose of deity worship is to bring one to a point of spiritual advancement where one can see Krishna everywhere. So in a sense, the temple is where you practice seeing Krishna, because the temple makes it very, very easy to see Krishna. Krishna is actually visible to everyone. Although if someone's not sincere, they can't see Krishna as God. They'll just see a Hindu statue, or they will. But of course, if someone's devoted, then you can actually see Krishna there. So it's actually a very great act of mercy, because in our present condition, because we're still covered by material desires, we can't see Krishna. And therefore, Krishna takes that giant step toward us and actually appears in a visible form, so that even in our present condition, we can still see him and reciprocate with him. And devotees do reciprocate with the deities. There is a reciprocation. And so it's a great act of kindness on Krishna's part. So he accomplishes both purposes. One purpose is to facilitate our spiritual practice, and the other purpose is not to reveal himself to people who are just not ready to see him, which would just not be appropriate. One has to actually have a pure heart to see Krishna face to face, as Prabhupada used to say, and yet one can see Krishna face to face in the deity form. So a certain qualification is preserved. At the same time, the spiritual advancement of devotees who are not yet perfect is facilitated. So both goals are accomplished. Any question on these points?
They would say about every language has, like, say for Eskimos, they got 20 words for snow. So listening to this verse, there was like a lot of words just for Pankaja, and it was, and what would you say of all words, the most on for love or for God, or all the Sanskrit words?
I never actually counted.
Yeah.
But lotus is certainly a popular word. They have a lot of them. I guess the lotus, because the lotus in a sense transcended itself just as a botanical item. I mean, the lotus became a symbol, of beauty, sublime beauty, and therefore so many parts of Krishna's body are compared to a lotus. So it almost becomes a way of saying beautiful or sublime.
But also it's a spiritual symbol.
Yes. You want to talk about that?
Well, the image of the lotus emerging from the mud, and the mud just rolls off of it without. So it's like the lotus is pure without being contaminated, even though comes from a contaminated environment, and so that's like the nature of the soul, or the nature of a Jivan Mukta, or something like that.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, it is a practical metaphor. That's very true. And then, of course, the swans that take the essence, the milk from the lotus, and then don't take the water.
I don't think the milk comes from the lotus.
Where's it come from? I mean, it's not like cow milk.
So that's what they're talking about, that there's a milk that comes from the lotuses.
Like a sap.
Oh, I never heard that before.
Yeah, because otherwise I don't think cows are milked on top of lotuses. I mean, I don't think it would be cow milk.
I didn't think it literally meant that the milk was in the water in the lake or whatever.
Yeah, well, there is some kind of, I mean, many flowers, if you kind of squeeze them, there's.
Yeah, I had no idea, I just never heard that before.
Yeah, so it's taking the essence of something to be a supreme swan, Paramahansa. Yeah, it's interesting because the swan image is also calling Paramahansa. That's the main use of it. And of course the lotus is a ubiquitous image. There's so many words for lotus. Waterborn, mudborn, waterborn being Amboja or Ambuja. Like Krishna called Ambujaksha, lotus eyes. Waterborn, mudborn, and just lotus like Aravinda. So, any other comments? Any questions? Okay, thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.